Hello, everyone. You're welcome to another episode of our podcast, Leadership and Leverage, where we have candid conversations, real conversations with leaders across different industries. And today we have Douglas Kendison, the founder and CEO of Selar. I'm sure most of our viewers who are in Africa must have Selar. So you're welcome, Douglas, to the show. We're glad to have you.
Um, Thank you, Chico. Thank you, Chico. It's my pleasure. I'm very, very happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate most creators in Africa who want to monetize their knowledge or content may have at some point sold at Seller. A lot of people know Seller, and I think you're doing an amazing job. You've been building Seller for the past 8 years. In a few words, what has it been? Has it been? How would you summarize your entrepreneurial journey for the past 8 years at Seller?
Um, so it's a little hard to really summarize it, just because I feel like when I
Yeah.
think about it, I've gone through like a lot of phases,
Mm-hmm.
like during this journey. Um, I feel like there was a time where I was just like doing this for fun. I was just having like a time in my life. Then it stopped being fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, I have to make this work, which is
Mm-hmm.
maybe like, so I think maybe the first 3 years were like, this is just, I'm just freestyling.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think in 2020, I'd done it for like roughly 4 years at the time. And I was just thinking that, oh, hey, I'm going to give this one more year of push. Like if it
Okay.
works out, it's good. If it doesn't work out, I want to park this and just do other things because I
Yeah.
don't um, and I was like, I want to park this if it doesn't work out in 1 year. And then I think 2020 was a very stressful year for me, um, because I was holding down a full time job, and then
Mm-hmm.
I was also just like working on Seller.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by like October that year, like I just felt like I wanted to die because I was really juggling like so many things.
Yeah.
And I think by the end of that year, then but it was a really good year because we did find some traction at that point. And by the end of the year, I realized that like, oh, I okay, maybe I want to go full time on this. And then I think by 2021, I decided to quit my full time job because I think for the first 4 or 5 years of this, I always had a full time job,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what happened. And so by the end of the year, by 2021, I decided to go full time. And then that journey was also just very interesting because it was just filled with like a lot of anxiety. So I was even lucky that like when I decided that I wanted to do Seller full time, I did not need Seller to eat financially.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had like I had stacked up some money like in savings. I was working in Dubai for for at the time for at least the past 2 years plus. So I'd like saved some money, and then I was like, okay, I want to try to make I have money to just like sustain myself and my family. And then that journey, I think the anxiety just like really came up to the surface in that period of time, and it was just very stressful because it was like, oh, is this gonna work? Is this really going to work? Is this not
Mm-hmm.
going to work? And it was a very big strenuous dance of like is this gonna work, like is this gonna last, is this like a
Yeah.
thing, is full that and all of that. And
Yeah.
I think that was going on for like another like 2 years plus.
Okay.
And I feel like this year is probably the year where I am a little at peace.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, this is the year where I am a little at peace. I feel like my mental health is good this year,
Mm-hmm.
my mind is good this year.
Mm-hmm.
Know what like I'm excited to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm doing well doing the work. I think I
Yeah.
like doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm also just getting back in the groove of the early days of startup where like I just had a lot of like passion and love
Yeah.
and
The love is coming back. The energy is coming back, right?
Yes, yes. And I think that's really where I'm at. And I think even my leadership this year has also just changed a lot. Um, it took me a while to get to this point where like like as a leader, I'm like, this sounds ridiculous, but like I think I finally am ready to lead people.
Yeah.
And that's
Okay.
one
Like,
that has
like you
changed.
phoned it up, right?
Yeah. Like that's what so I mean, so the thing is I've always gotten compliments on like being a good leader.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I was getting compliments on that. Like even so, this is like at my secular jobs. Like right out of wave, I led like a team of almost 12 to 15 people.
Yeah.
Uh, and even at different points in my life, like even before we didn't have this many employees at Seller, because right now we have like 23, 24.
Okay.
I've always been compliments on leadership, and I've always tried my best to be a good leader, and we can talk about that like as we progress.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like leadership is something that I kind of did begrudgingly. I was just like, "Oh, okay, I have to do it." But like now this year, I'm like, I'm excited to lead. I'm excited to lead the people that work with me to just having a great time. And I wish I knew. I wish I found I had this peace a lot earlier. I
Okay.
feel like it done so much for me. Like it would have because there it changes so much for me right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So now, what would you say like has been the major factor that has sort of brought this drive, this new desire to be intentional about leadership, despite the fact you've been doing it all these years, Paystack, Flutterwave, and some other companies you've worked at, but you've not really given it attention. What would you can you pinpoint a particular thing that has helped you to anticipate managing people, pointing people in the right direction, delegating tasks? Would you say it's something or a set of factors that have contributed to that?
So with me in leadership this year, I don't know. Like this answer is, I guess the answer for me is very personal. I think
Mm-hmm.
I found a lot of peace with myself personally.
And that's key.
And I think so it's that peace with myself and also just coupled with, I mean, I'm 27 now, I turn 28 next month.
Mhm.
And I've been doing this since I was like 19. Um, so there is something that just comes from doing this very early where so I was speaking with a friend from like my high school and like a couple weeks back, and then he was like, and then we were kind of just talking, and I kind of just explained that like I feel like I had not had a break in a very long time, because like from let's say like secondary school, like I've always been on go. Like I've always been on go. Like there's not been like a downtime,
Kind of
no
creating
breaks, no,
space.
no, nothing. So it's like from one
Yeah.
job to the other, from
Another.
one job to the other.
Yeah.
So like even something like Seller too, it's like I started this when I just right after I got out of uni.
Mm-hmm.
Started work. I was working full time when I started this. I was writing a lot of code. I was working full time, and then I changed jobs so many times. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I changed my job like 4 times in like 5, 6 years. Um, and then at some point I decided to go full time at this, and the thing with that is I've always just been on go, even with like the product, even like with seller as a thing. Um, and what that does to you is if you don't find your if you don't find out what you're trying to do, or if you don't find out what you're doing, you could really just get lost in all the things that are happening. That is, and I think that's kind of where I was. But the funny thing is, I was doing good work in all of this, but I don't know intentionally chose, okay, this is what I want to do, or this is what I need to just, it was always a thing of like, this is what is required of me at different points in time. And then this is, and so I'm always doing what is required of me at every point in time. Whether it's like in switching my jobs, whether it's in doing this work of Seller, whether it's in being a better leader at Seller too, it's always what is required of me. And there's something about just doing things not because you really want to, but you have to do them.
You have to.
And I think this year, what has really changed is then I finally slowed down. I had like a period of this year where I kind of really slowed down, sometime in like March to like July, June. And I got to really slow down and I got to really ask myself, like, oh, what do I really want to do? What do I care about? And that period allowed me to realize that, like, okay, I do like people. Like, people is my thing. Like, I mean, product is my first love, and I really love product. And product is something that I'm also, I would say, very good at. But then I think outside of product, I also really love people. I love working with different people. I love doing things. And then I got the chance to choose to do the work that I've been doing for 8 years.
Yeah.
But it really did change a lot for me because, like, there was a different energy I took when I was going back to work because so I was not at work for like 2 3 months, and then when I
Okay.
went back to work, if I was being patient with somebody through something, I was being intentionally patient because I wanted to get them somewhere. I wanted
Okay.
to lead them somewhere. I wanted to help them see something that they don't see,
Yeah.
and that was big for me. It also just meant that, like, a lot of decisions that I was making, a lot of things I was doing, like, I was like, oh, I'm intentionally trying to do these things because leadership has always been very important to me. But like, it's always been something I just did because I have to do it.
Needed to
But
be done,
it's like, now I chose this. Like, now I chose this, or now I, well, at least I've deceived myself to think I chose this.
right?
And I think it's really been the biggest game changer for me this year. Because now I'm just riding the wave, and it's good.
It's, I love what you said about you being intentional, deciding you want to do that, right? And I think it's key when trying to get people into leadership. There are people that are forced into leadership. They don't want it. They don't want to be there, right? And I think it reflects on the kind of work they do, how they manage people. But for you, what would you say this past 8 years, even when you were building Seller as a side hustle, just doing it for passion, and recently, what would you say have been the biggest challenge you faced leading people, even when it was just you doing your thing with Seller, writing codes, right? And now that you have a full-fledged team, what would you say is the biggest challenge for you personally? Leading people, getting the best out of people, like you said, which is no small joke, is not easy. Would you mind sharing?
Leading people just comes with a lot of headache, like a lot of
True.
headache.
I
That
agree.
is, and I think that's one of the reasons why I really struggled at the beginning because I was just doing what was required of me at different points in time. But like, and I was annoyed because, like, this is a lot of work. I don't need to be doing this work. I could not be doing it. So maybe the biggest challenge was finding out that, like, okay, I really care for this, and these are the people that I really want to grow these people. Because it's like, because at this point now, it's like we have a somewhat successful company,
Yeah.
and yes, we're trying to grow this company, but I think it's also just very important to me that everybody that works here grows as a person.
Mm-hmm.
um and that is the goal right now. To some degree, I'm trying to do a system that's like no man left behind. But just but I digress. But I think when it comes to challenges, maybe, and I think this challenge probably also just runs in my personal life. But
It's fine.
it'll probably just be patience with people.
Yeah.
Um, I am a I am a let's get to it quickly
Sharp,
now.
sharp. Yeah,
Now,
immediately. Yeah.
and if you don't do it, I can do it.
ASAP.
There's nothing I cannot. I'm asking you to do that I cannot do. So that patience with people is probably something I struggled with the most as a leader over the years, and even now too. Like I'm not even magically better at it, but like I have a better grasp of being patient with people. But patience with people, especially as someone that just is, I like it quick. Like my mom was around a couple months ago,
Hmm.
or I think last month. And I think I just take after my mom in that way, where it's like we're both like, anything we're doing it fast, we're doing it now, we're doing it
Yeah.
immediately.
Hmm.
uh, and I think leadership really requires that, like, yes, the outcome is very important, um but then the process is also like more important in a way. And that's an example of something that was not my thoughts. Like before, my thought was I need my outcome. um and now it's like I need the outcome, but I also really care for the process, and I really am trying to make sure um everything is working in synergy. That's probably it.
It makes a lot of sense. I too sometimes struggle with being patient with people because sometimes in the midnight I just have this thing I need to do. I don't care what time it is. I just I don't care. I just wake up and I just do it.
And I think the worst part is when you can do stuff, it's
Yeah.
and I think that's when it's very hard to be patient. When you can actually do stuff. When you can't do stuff and you have to wait on people to do stuff, that's not a true test of your patience. It's
True.
when you can override them
Hmm.
and get it done some other way, and then it's like, no, then you have to really slow down and be like, oh hey, this is not how this should be, this is not how it should be done, blah blah blah. And I think there's also just a level of like surrender um in this mix
So,
where
Douglas, at what point did you start surrendering? Because the truth of the matter is, at that very early stage when Selar was super small, maybe you and one other person or one or two other person, maybe three-man team, it's easy to do everything on your own, right? But you couldn't have scaled it to a team of about 20 something people, serve thousands and millions of people across the world with that kind of approach to leadership. There had to be a time where you would delegate and allow people to do things for you to be
yeah.
able to scale operations. So at what point would you personally say you actually realize that, yes, I knew I can do this, but I have to always surrender. I have to always allow these people do the job which they are being paid for. Because believe you me, just like we said a few minutes ago, when you know you can do stuff, you don't care. I know some leaders that still pay people and they still don't mind doing the things they need to do. So at what point would you say like you knew that, man, I have to just allow these people to do this thing, delegate, tell them what to do, and probably just once in a while watch their work and correct things. At what point do you say you realize that, and at what point would you advise other leaders who are building stuff maybe at a very early stage to have that at the back of their minds?
So interestingly, I know the exact point I started surrendering.
Mm,
I know the exact point I started surrendering. So 2020 we took off. 2021 I decided to go full time. I probably had so I think 2020 I had two people doing social media for me. I was the one replying like messages on IG. I was doing the whole thing. I was writing code. I was blah blah blah. I think when I did decide to start surrendering was when I hired a marketing lead.
Hmm.
Um, I had a marketing lead. Of course, I was paying him,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a mix of like I'm not paying somebody to do work and then still going around to do it. That's first of all a waste of my time and a waste of my energy.
It doesn't
That's
make sense.
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't
That's
make
like
sense.
so that's one thing. And then there was something about working with him and also just realizing that like if I do everything in this company, I would just kill myself.
You just burn out, man.
I will just so it's like see let me just focus on the one that I can do, which is even a lot because it's like product, it's like customer service, it's everything. So that was probably really one of the first times when, because like before he had joined, and I think we added people to his team, I had two social media persons. Those people probably hate me. They probably hate me because like I was on their ass
Mm-hmm.
about every pixel on that design and every word on that caption, and that was on for like 1 year plus till I think I let one go, and then I think the other one I can't remember how she left eventually, but like I was on their ass, and then but then I think it was a realization of, and I don't think it got particularly, and even with him too, he wouldn't even say that like immediately he joined he got free reins to do whatever he wanted to do. Like I was on his ass for like another 1.5 or 2 years. But it was a continual process of letting go that even now there's so many things I don't just involve myself in. Um and and that is like half true and half not true because I will still butt my head in when I can or when I see something that's off, but that very micromanaging Hawkeye thing, I just knew that like I was gonna die if like, and I mean that metaphorically and also just literally.
Hmm.
Um, and that was really my slow process of letting go. And I think from that point on with him and realizing I have to let go there, then I started applying it to different people. I wouldn't even say I'm really great at that now, but it could be worse. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Personally, I like your approach to things, right? Because it's similar to mine. A few years ago, I started teaching people what I've learned in sales and all that, and I can relate to what you talk about because I can, sometimes be a perfectionist too. It's not good. So I could connect to a few of the things you're talking about. Now let's talk a little bit about um, Seller as a product and as a company. What would you say is the I don't know if you know, but a lot of people know Seller. I know you know, but I don't know how much you know. Sometimes,
I actually don't think I do that hard. I am very much in my head and just like trying to keep my head down to
yeah,
work. But I
yeah,
hope a lot of people know Seller because that really is.
yeah,
So
exactly.
there was this doc that I created for onboarding when we
Yeah.
want to onboard new staff, and
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the goals. So on the things on one of the like one of the slides on the deck, I have like vision, and I'm never really like a vision girl. I'm just a I wouldn't say I'm a vision person.
Mm-hmm.
And but like one of the things I wrote there is I want seller to be synonymous with like digital products, and I want like anybody that thinks of digital products to think of seller. And I think that doc is one of the most inspirational docs I've ever made because like I think so as new team members come in year and year, I edit the doc and try to update something to let them so that they have something new.
Mm-hmm.
And it is really nice to see that like indeed we are inching close to that. But like sorry, I digress. But like that is something that I'm
Yeah.
really I really want for Seller. Yes.
And it's see the truth of the matter is people say it's motivational, but it is what it is, right? You can build a great company or a great product without looking forward to something. It's just life, right? People say it's all this motivational talk, like what you just said about having a document and visualizing and having in mind how you want Seller to be, right? Probably this was years ago, and now it's happening. You have it in your mind, you work on it every day, and before you know it, it's compounds, and now you're getting close to what you want, or even what you want already. Now, what are some milestones? What are some things you just sit back or you remember about what you've built, about the impact you've made in the lives of creators, and you're like, wow, like this is beautiful, and it just makes you smile. I know you've got other lofty dreams you want to crush, but what are some things you've achieved personally as a person with Seller and in the creator economy that you're like, I never knew I could get here, and now I'm here and I'm happy? Or maybe what are those maybe notable success stories you've got to share?
Yes. I actually have a lot. I have a lot. I think
Feel free,
there are
feel free to tell us.
there are a lot of things that I'm actually very grateful for. And I will start with the people, interesting. So I have a developer that's worked with me for 4 years ish.
That's a long time
That is a long time. He's one of
for a
my oldest
developer.
employees. I love how his salary has progressed.
Mm-hmm.
The day he joined, I mean, when I remember when I was interviewing him, and like he kind of told me based on a story, and I think he said it that like, oh, he's a very loyal person. Um, and I told him that like, oh, if you're a very loyal person, we're gonna click because and I'm going to I'm going to be loyal to you too. And I'm very happy with that really how that relationship has turned out. Interestingly, he's about to leave to like run his startup now, and
Oh,
it's sad, but I am very happy for him.
yeah.
Um, but I like his salary progression. Um, I obviously can tell you what he earns now, but I'm very proud of that. Um, the marketing manager I told you I hired, Milton.
Mm-hmm.
Um, our relationship has just blossomed over the years. He literally left the country like 3 years ago, and I it's nice that like I like his salary progression too. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
money is very important to me.
Yeah,
Money is very important to me. I like his salary progression over the years. I'm looking at how much we can pay him right now, and I am very proud of that. Um, I guess I'm also proud about how much I earn too. That is good.
that's important.
That is a good bonus. And then that's the same thing for a lot of people. So like there's somebody I hired recently that I saw. I knew he could do good work, but there were just things that were going on right at the time in their life that
Mhm.
like they were just not in like they didn't have a job at the time. But they had done work like good work in the past in years, and he was a little all over the place. And I don't even think he realized it, but like because we do this thing in our Monday meetings where we ask different questions. It's kind of like this fun trivia game that we play.
Mhm.
And then he started talking about how like he wasn't talking to me, but he was like just it was a question that led to it, and then he'll just answer that like, oh, he kind of feels like he's adulting now, and
Oh,
he's doing like he's you
yeah,
get
it's
it.
good there, you know? Yeah,
I heard that in passing, and I was just like, that is really nice.
yeah.
That is really nice, because and I mean, I also work with like almost everybody in my company is Gen Z
Oh,
today.
and for the Gen Z, to say,
So it's important to note that like this insane behemoth of growth that you're seeing, it's young people under 25, under 26, because I'm
oh,
27 and 20 that are
mm,
doing this.
yeah,
It's insane, and
it
that is
is.
good. That is good work. I think that even if any I will be deeply crushed when people leave this company as they should. Um, but I hope that everybody that works here is proud of the work that they have done, because like they can brag about so much insanely good work. So that's one thing. Then the other things, I remember when we did 100 million in the first, like in 1 year, um, that blew my mind. I remember,
Ooh.
I remember when we did like a billion in 1 year.
Okay.
That blew my mind. That was a milestone that like I was so gagged. Then we did
Huge.
2 billion, and then now I think we haven't gotten less than 500 million. I hope this doesn't this cannot jinx it in Jesus' name. But like now we do like 500 million like a month, and it's like this is great. And then even when we hit the 1 million users registered milestone, I think I don't even know how we got there, but we got there,
That's a major thing. You
and
got there.
and that is just stuff that I'm very proud of. I think I'm also very happy about like a lot of people. So at times I look at like the profiles that use Seller and I go to the admin and I see it and it's like some people have been using our products since 2020, 2022, 2022. It's nice that people just have stuck with us for a very long time. There's a customer that has been with us since 2017, and it's like, yay to us, yay to us for surviving that long, yay to us
Yeah.
for still building this, still fighting for territory and everything. And these are the things that I think that give me the most joy right now. Yes.
I can only imagine the amount of work that have got into building Seller because it started like a passion project for you and you did it for the love. You may not have felt it. When you're doing something because you love it, even if you put a ton of hours into it, you may not feel it, right? It wouldn't even feel like work. But I know that so much work has been put into building Seller. I know, right? And now I just wanted to talk a bit about what you said about a customer that has been with Seller for 2017. Seller is doing something right. We don't need a soothsayer to tell us that. It shows. So, what would you say is the major factor that has helped you to retain a lot of people? 2017, 2024 is no small joke, right? And you know very well that creators, they are easy to jump to the next platform. It's very easy, right? But you see people on your customers, people that use Seller, they're willing to refer people. Oh, try Seller. Oh, this is good. I've been using them for years. So, what would you say is a major thing, right, that has helped you to retain a lot of creators and at the same time, great work?
um I don't know. I mean, I hope the product is good.
It is good, man. It is good.
So I hope the product is good.
Yeah.
That's probably something that I guess I hope that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, God just loves me. God just loves me. I'm a good person.
It's not, you know very well, you know what I'm asking is not about God alone, man. There's some Douglas, there's something you're doing. There's a secret sauce. If you're comfortable with sharing, giving us a bit of it about that secret thing you do.
No, I don't know. God just loves me. I'm really nice. We really work, do our work, and the work produces results. That's really good. I don't know. I don't. But I guess the secret sauce is our product. We really try to work hard on our product. We try to
Okay.
give a good product. I think right now we're also just very focused on delivering good customer service. I think customer services over the years, customer service has sort of like declined just because as you scale, like it gets really messy. It gets so
It
messy.
is. It is.
Um, and now we're just at a very slow point of where the transition of we're doing a lot for like improving our customer service. We're also doing a lot for giving a key account managers to some people, to some like high value content high value creators, and a lot of things are going on in the works there. Um, and we're also doing our best to just be as innovative as we can. Over the years, we try to keep our ears to the ground. We listen to our customers a lot. We do things that hopefully make them happy. So that's probably the things that I would say.
Makes a lot of sense. The truth of the matter, I'm not trying to, you know, paint any company black right now about what I'm about to say, but most African companies, they don't prioritize customer success or customer service, right? And I think it's something any brand that, has a chunk of their customers in Africa, if they can prioritize customer, I've had a lot of poor service from brands that they don't even care, right? And the fact Seller is prioritizing customer success, treating the customer as king, which they are, I think that's huge, right? I think that's huge. You know, but now talking about innovation, it's not easy innovating in this. I mean, some leaders struggle with it. You know, ensuring that the product is innovative, it appeals to both the millennials, Gen Z, boomers. How do you approach it as a leader? How do you see innovation at Seller? What are some things that has helped you over the years to ensure that Seller is innovative? It appeals to people, not minding how long they've used it. What's your take on that?
When it comes to innovation, I think one thing I try to do is I think at a very early point in this job,
Hmm.
I don't know how I got to that decision, but I think I probably came to that decision by just like watching other companies that worked out and just surveying and everything. But like, I think I I came to the realization that like I'm not going to be able to do everything, and I think that's probably one of the most helpful thesis that has guided how we drive
Hmm.
innovation
Yeah.
um, at Seller. The creator economy has been booming for like the last couple of years. It's been going really well. There have been so many new things. There have been so many new products. There have been so many new just there have been new things every day. There's something new for creators,
Yes.
and I think this came this comes because number one, I'm bootstrapping, and like I don't have an endless stream of VC money to do whatever I want to do. So there is that, and then also I think I like to go at my own pace. But it's for me, it's that realization that like I'm not going to be able to do everything, and that is okay. Because I think in the tech ecosystem, in this ecosystem where we're in and everything, and just in the startup ecosystem, especially just in the VC startup ecosystem, where like everybody's put on a treadmill, you're meant to be running, you're meant to be doing everything at the same time. It's very easy to think that you need to have everything
Yeah. Yeah.
and you need to do everything and you need to release everything. Like
Very easy.
we don't so EG, I'll give you an example now. We don't have a product, we don't have an AI feature right now. And I
Despite
mean
the AR rave.
it doesn't mean that we are not mindful of AI or like we are not we don't care for AI. We do care for AI. AI has a very big impact for creators today. We are really thinking about AI. But I'm just yet to find an actual AI implementation that makes sense for our users that we can do that's actually going to move the needle. Um, Description generator. There are like a million of those today. They don't
Mm.
need to see it in a Seller dashboard. They can just Google and get it. The creators that need this, they already have tools. But that's just an example. And hopefully we will have an AI thing soon. I'm really hoping so. But aside that, it's I really just know that like, hey, I'm not we're not gonna be but we're not gonna be everything to everybody. We're gonna be a few things, we're gonna do a few things and do a few things well. And hopefully that's what we'll be known for. That's how I think about it. Um and I think that has really helped us because when new things are flying everywhere, we're calm. We're okay. We're not and it also just means that like we're not going to be seeing like explosive growth here and there because that's the beauty of just like jumping on waves and trends is as the trends come if you're good if you hop on it you get the the traction that the trend comes with. However, when when that goes, you lose that. So it just means that like we'll try to grow steady, and steady is not explosive, but steady is good, and we're fine
Good.
with steady.
Steady is good.
Um, Steady keeps everyone paid in this company, and we're doing, and hopefully we'll do more.
Agree.
But it's just, but that's how we think about, I think, the work, how we navigate product here. Yeah.
I think that's beautiful because I think founders that sometimes want it quick and look for shortcuts are quick to hop on trend. I'm not saying trends are bad. Trends are good too.
Trends are not bad inherently.
Yeah,
They're not
trends are not
inherently
bad.
bad.
Trends are good
They
too.
can be good.
Yeah. But sometimes like you hinted at, taking a step back, staying calm, and knowing that sometimes it's just the simplicity of the product is what has been keeping the customers. Funny enough, as basic as it may seem, might just be what the secret sauce on the product. And I love how you approach it. With the advancement in AI, is quickly it's easy for founders to just plug in some AI features, and then make this big announcement, which in essence is not really bad. But it's fine. Steady, keeping it steady, ensuring that revenue keeps coming in, new customers have been acquired, existing customers are happy, reducing churn, key things. Yeah, yeah. Now, I wanted to talk about, because Douglas, obviously you've grown as a leader. And this past few minutes, we've had conversations from the point whereby you were just leading to the point now that you are more intentional about leadership, helping the team, getting the best out of the team, Gen Z's in the team, adulting. That's huge. Would you say mentorship in some way have played a key role in your growth? It could be mentorship at the maybe at Pace, Flutterwave, or some other startup you've also led teams at. Would you say mentorship or your network may have in some way helped you to acquire skills that have come in handy now that you're getting to the next level at Seller?
Definitely yes. Um, so interestingly, I think with leadership, I've said this thing where like leadership is just one thing that like you don't always appreciate it until like it's absent, and
True.
then you like, and then that's when you really value leadership, like
Yeah.
when it's
Yeah.
not there. But I think with me, like I have worked with different kinds of people, like over different kind of bosses, like over the years, and I've been very privileged that like with a lot of jobs that I've had, whether it's like Paystack, whether it's Flutterwave, whether it's the two companies I worked at when I was in Dubai, I've been very fortunate to work directly with the founders
That's huge. That's a huge
and
thing.
just work across like different teams, work with so many people, and that really opens your eyes to good things and the bad things. I would say that. Um, I feel like I have learned so much about being a better leader by working under so many people. I've learned so many things that I would want to do when I'm a leader from so many people that I've worked under. I have also learned so many things I will not and I would never want to do when I'm a leader, like from all the things I have experienced too. And it's been me fine tuning like over the years and just like cataloging, like, this I wouldn't do. This I really would do. So yes, mentorship has been not very direct mentorship, but even
Yeah.
friendships, like, but friendships too. Like I have had friendships with most of the founders that I've worked with, and even just the opportunity to ask them a question after, like, even when I don't work there, is has been very helpful because like if I'm going through something that I'm just not sure of, I would just text them like, hey, this is what I have in mind, what are your thoughts? And the ones that can help would help, and if they cannot help, they wouldn't help. And so I definitely didn't get here on my own. I got here with a lot of help from a lot of amazing people over the years. I think almost all the bosses I've worked for have made a very big impact to my life.
It makes a lot of sense. Imagine if you had burnt bridges in some of those companies.
I did.
you know. So many people, many younger folks now, how would I put this? They don't approach mentorship the right way. There are some bosses I worked for, some people that have managed me, and it didn't work out, but we're still on very good terms. I don't think anybody can handle it well that way. We still talk, we still text. How's it going? So, and as someone advances in your career, entrepreneurial journey, relationship is key as well. You never can tell when someone could come in handy. Now, let's move a little bit backwards to the early days at Selar, you know, when it was still a baby. Now, Selar is no longer a baby. It might be your baby, but we don't see it as a baby.
No, we're still a baby. 8 years is still a baby. That's still a baby. That's a baby that like the parents are still like feeding, clothing, and still taking to school.
Okay, maybe let's call it an infant. When Selar was still an infant, right? Were there things that happened that was really a big blow to you that you felt like, maybe a huge setback, or maybe you felt like giving up or throwing in the lodge? What are things that happened at the early stages that, like, are you sure I really want to do this? Would you mind sharing one or two experiences?
Um, yeah, there's been a lot. There's been a
Uh,
lot.
okay.
There was a very big one that happened in 2021. Just we're having the best year of our lives, and then we kind of had this whole thing where many of our customer files were lost,
Ooh,
like just gone.
just like that.
It was just gone, just everything gone. It was a lot. I cannot even get into like more details of that, but like
Yeah.
that was a very crazy time. That was a very crazy time.
How did you navigate it? How did you do it? Like,
The best answer I would give is we kind of just put one foot in front of the other and just kept walking
hmm,
until we try to get other customers to like, and it was a crazy time. Like everything just gone, and like so this is like our biggest. This is the biggest traction we've gotten. Like then, like shit just started. Then that happened, and but we kind of just put one foot in front of the. So that was really. That's interestingly that time was really one of the hardest. But in that time, I think I remembered one of my bosses. My boss is GB. That's the one, the founder of Flutterwave. And
okay. Hmm.
one thing about GB,
Hmm.
the fire may be burning, but he's like, okay, throw,
Yeah.
throw water on it and let's keep
Yeah.
moving.
Let's keep
Let us
moving.
let us.
Yeah.
I think I kept thinking about him and just how he would handle that in that moment. Um, and yeah, we really kind of there was no time to weep. There was no time to like cry. There was no time to be depressed. It was just a let us move.
Mm.
And so we moved, and our customers moved with us.
Yeah.
And our customers were patient through that. They uploaded the people that had their files uploaded the files again. We did a
Mm.
lot of work to make sure it would never happen again. It was a very insane time. It lasted almost like 4 months in just so much was happening behind the scenes, and but we weathered that storm together as a company. I think that probably is one of the most that probably is maybe one of the very first times that I was like, okay, I have to, because I've always been a leader that like I don't like aspire to like, and it's weird. Like I don't know how to give people motivation. So
Mm-hmm.
no, let me rephrase that. I know how to give people motivation, but like I don't want to. I don't want to be like, oh, remember just that
You don't want to
time,
be seen like a motivational speaker?
and that was probably one of the first times that I tried to handle it with everybody that worked at Seller, and like then I also tried to but then I think even at that point in time, what was also just big was leading by example, and the example then was I was moving, I was progressing, I was getting the things done, I was playing my part in all of it, and yeah, and we really got through that. Um, that really is just not something I thought that we would ever be able to get through. But we did, and
Yeah.
we're literally like 10 times better and 10 times stronger and 10 times bigger since that incident. Um, it was a lot. It was a lot. But yeah, it was very needed. It helped us just get our shit together.
Setbacks are bound to happen. Leaders should always expect it. You don't know when it's coming. Even if you solve one problem, you don't know the next one that is coming up, right? And being resilient, ability to bounce back when shit happens is key, because it's always going to happen. You're not going to have it easy like a walk in the park. Get on with it, find a solution, and move on with the team, because at the end of the day, the team is looking up to you, right?
Yeah.
When you're moving on, trying to solve things, they are more encouraged. They're like, okay, we can always pull through. But when they're looking up to the topmost leader, and it seems he's been beat down, he's discouraged. Even sometimes leadership wouldn't tell that. Even if you're discouraged, you have to be strong for others, right? Yeah.
That really was a period of that. Yeah.
They're looking up to you. They're learning from you. Many of them might not tell you, but you're their role model. Um, Now, there was something you said a few minutes ago around, despite the fact that Seller is bootstrapping. I know some investors may have approached you, to invest in Seller. How do you personally see investments, right? The VC money, what was your approach to it a few years back? How do you see it now? Do you see Seller in the near future, accepting more investments and all that? What's your take on it?
So it's very interesting you're asking this question right now. So
Mm,
for anyone listening, this is September. We're recording this in September,
yeah,
and
September.
this is just a couple weeks to our summit. And
Yeah.
so the reason why this time is very interesting is because like we're getting so many invoices because like
Ooh.
like there's so many invoices that we have to cover for like the summit and all the promotions. We're getting our first billboard this year.
Oh,
Ever. Very
congrats.
exciting. I'm very excited to see how that looks when it's out. I'm definitely gonna work on a Zumba to see it. Um, but so like the reason why I'm saying that because like now I think about like a lot of money a lot. Like we need a lot of money.
Mm.
Um but jokes aside, interestingly, I think with VC money, so I've only worked at funded companies.
Yeah.
And the thing about working at funded companies is, and like I said, I'm very privileged to have worked very closely with the founders. I also, I'm like a busybody. So like, I, I, like I worked with different teams. I was in everybody's business.
Busybodies have information always.
And I always have information about everybody
Yeah,
I work. I know
recent
too much.
information.
I know too much. I know too much about everything. But I think the beauty of that is you get to know exactly what you get to know exactly what people use. You get to know exactly what like money is being spent on in a startup. You also get to know what like the actual drivers of growth is in a startup. And and I think that knowledge was very empowering because I think even when I decided to do this, I can't say that I was intentionally like avoiding VC money. I think at some point we're really trying to get into YC, and I think we
Mhm.
applied twice or thrice and we didn't get in. But I think also just while that was happening and while that rejection was happening, I think I was just also aware of, first of all, I also hate groveling for money. Like I don't like begging for money.
Mm.
Like mm, keep it
Mm.
away from.
Yeah.
And the thing about raising money is a series of just groveling. And even though like we are in a very lucky place, like if you want to raise money now, I'm sure that's not going to take too much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Very to be easier.
at different points in this journey, nobody understood what we're trying to do. Nobody knew what we were trying to do. So like raising money was definitely going to be a begging just it was going to be really ugly. Um, but I think for the longest time, my philosophy was just I'm trying to build something that lasts, trying to build something that is very reliable, the business with good business economics. And I knew the thing. I felt like I didn't need money for a lot of things, so I didn't try to get money. Because I was just like, everything that I wanted to do, I felt like I could do that on my own. It might not, and I think that's also another example of just like um making peace with the fact that you cannot. I think I also made peace with the fact that like I might not operate at like VC money startup scale, and that is fine too.
That's okay. Yeah.
That is fine too. Interestingly, there was this guy that was trying to convince me to take money from him. He didn't even have money. He was convincing me that he could help me get money from other people. But I think he was just always like, it was like, oh, I kind of like you guys' traction and all of that. But like, then there was time he asked me a question, which was, um, do you not want like Shopify scale or something? Like,
Mm,
you want to play small? I remember just like saying that, like, I think that's where I probably got the word explosive growth from.
mm,
Because he was like, don't want explosive growth, blah, blah, blah. Or do you want to be playing small? And it's like, I remember telling him that, like, I want that, but I think I'm fine just doing what I'm doing. And the thing is, I think over the years, we have gotten literally explosive growth that not a lot of startups in our ecosystem can have, even VC funded startups. Explosive growth over the years. And I think we had a very big scale, just still bootstrapped. And I knew that we could get there. We're just not
mm-hmm,
going to get there like super fast. And I
mm-hmm,
think that's even fine. And I think I've been fine with just not moving too fast. I think I've also just been aware that like once you're on the VC track, you are like on a treadmill. And I don't like people rushing me. I just don't like people rushing me. Like just don't push me. Just
don't push.
I will
Do it steady, slow and steady,
I will
like
get
a
like I will
pace.
get to it. Like I will actually get to it. Just don't push me.
Mm,
Um and I think and just because I feel like yeah, don't push me. I'll get to it. So I think for a while I was just like I don't want this. I think we can do without it. And so that's kind of just been how. And so for the longest time, and I think by 2021 when I decided to go full time, I really wanted to raise money at the time because like we'd done 100 million naira in revenue in like transactional volume. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. That's even when people started noticing us and started like trying to reach out to us. It was really good for raising money, but I was just like, okay, let me just try to work hard a little bit, and so I would have better traction, and it would be better to like pitch to investors. And I kind of just kept going and going and going and stalling until we became profitable. And I kind of was just like, okay, you might as well just give it up. And
yeah.
that's where we are now. Are we going to raise money at any point? I have no idea.
Mm,
If if it's right for us, if it's good, I'm hoping that we will. I wouldn't say I'm very hard headed on it right now. I think it's also just very important for me that like the people that work at I think right now my goal is the people that work at Selar, like I want them to be rich. Like I want them to be financially well to do at the end of this hard work that they have put in so much here. Um so hopefully we'll see. We'll see. That's how I think about it right now.
I'm so glad to hear that there are founders that see things this way because it's becoming like if you're not open to raising money, what you're building doesn't look good, it's not valid. Like it's becoming like a norm that every business has to raise money. It's not, it shouldn't always be that way. There are some businesses that don't need money. Why would you raise? Right? And it makes more sense when you even want to raise, you're raising, there's a like what you said a few minutes ago, the different thing you're raising because you're practically begging for money so that you stay afloat and you keep running the company. And the different thing that you're raising because you're on level 3 and you want to get to level 4. These are two different situations.
Yeah, the
So
leverage.
building seller, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead. Sorry for interrupting.
yeah, yeah. Building seller to this point without totally bootstrapped, that's huge. It's easy for founders like you to play down what they've done. Like it's so easy. It looks like is the norm, is okay. But it's not okay. It's huge. It's a milestone. It's a big thing. It's because it's rare. It's easy now just probably get a million in seed or pre-seed, and boom, you're there. But bootstrapping is more difficult. Just anybody can do that. And kudos, man. Kudos. It's not a small thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I want to talk a bit about how you select people. Because one key thing about leadership is it's not about leading people. Those people that you want to lead or you're about leading, how do you select them? How do you choose them? How do you hire them? How do you find them? Finding talent is an integral part of leadership, right? So I don't know, how do you, what are some things you look out for when you want to hire someone? What are some things that are dear to you? Are there some sacred things you look out for? Do you work on instincts? Do you look out for a couple of things? Would you mind sharing how you approach that?
Yeah. Right now, I think I typically run on instincts a lot. Like a
Okay.
lot. Um, I think there's so many people that I feel like if I just think that they're right for us, I would typically just get them on.
Mm-hmm.
And they might not always foot the bill. They might not be perfect, but they typically try. I mean, that's not always been good. Some people have just been a complete flop, and that's fine. And that's also fine. You're not going to get it right every time. But then can I also just course correct quickly, which I can. Like, I think I hired somebody and then I let them go for like 3 months. There's somebody that I hired and the person was with us for like 1 year plus, and I let them stay even though I probably knew that they were not good in like the first 2 months or first month. So I have never just been, it's never been perfect. It's just been but like now I'm a lot, like now I think I have a better sense and I kind of just try to do better. I think right now, so there was a point where I used to hire people that like be excited to like help them grow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just say hire for potential. Now I don't hire for potential anymore. Um, just because having potential is very stressful. You have to,
Yeah.
like, I think so.
Enormous amount of work.
Very important to me now that like, because the thing is, because I think I've learned over the years that like when you're not paying for it with your money, you pay for it with your time. And this is not going to be a question of like, oh, which is more important to you, but like I know I don't want to be wasting my time on but like on something that I should not be wasting my time on. There's nothing I hate more than like going over something 10 times with somebody. Like, please don't, like, please. I mean, I'm learning to be patient, but like, please. Um, but that being said, I think right now I just hire for like what value the person is bringing to the table right now. So it's like, can you do the work right now?
Yeah.
Yes, you should be able to improve over the years, but can you do the work right now? Can you do good work right now? That's something I look out for now. That's very important to me. I'm not spending another like 6 months, 1 year, and then the person might not even grow. And I mean that doesn't. I mean there are people that work with us today that like they grow, like they obviously will get better over time. But can you do the work now? That's one thing. Um, I think this is not a theory that I have implemented fully, but like I've only just implemented it in passing and just in small examples. But I think moving forward, I'm also very keen on. I want to hire people that, because one other thing I've learned is that there are people that want to do the work, and there are people that just don't want to do the work. That is, I feel like that might be a hard truth for people to get. And I think as someone that runs a company full of like Gen Zs, that's something that I know very well. That's something that I know very well. Um, there are people that want to do the work, and there are people just that don't want to do the work. And I think it's very important for me to hire people that want to work. Very, very, very important. Um, and so people that want to work, and then people that are reliable. There's nothing that sucks like someone that is not reliable. You don't want to do that. So probably those are probably like, and I mean, of course, then this is like, then hopefully they're smart. They can, so all those things matter. But like, I think my top three things would be: do they want to work? Can they do the work? And are they reliable? That's probably how I would rank them. Yeah.
It makes so much sense, right? Because at the end of the day, there are some stages a company will be at, and you're willing to invest the time on someone if you have the time. But there's a level you get to, you don't have that time, man. You just need someone that can start.
And the funny thing is, I kind of knew I did not have the luxury of time even 4 years ago. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, so the people that were doing social media for me in 2020, I was really combing and fine tuning everything, doing. But even at that time, I think that was why when I even had a marketing manager, I knew I had done that for like 1 year already, and I was working with these people, and it was a very, very strenuous like process. I knew I did not want to do more of that. I just like, no, let's not do that. But yes, but you are. I think you. At times you will have the time now. Like it's like even right now, there's a level of reviewing I want to be doing now, and there's a level of reviewing I never want to try that I don't want. Don't bring that my way. Yeah. So that is how I see it.
Talking about people that don't want to do the work, they just want to be there, man. Just come there, do the bare minimum. At the end of the month, collect salary. 4 p.m. 1 minute will not pass 4 p.m. They are home. It's not easy, working with these people. But then again, why would you get a job when you don't want to do the job?
And I should say, just on record, that is not a Gen Z thing. It's not a Gen Z thing. It's a thing that is it's across every generation. The people that want to work and the people that don't want to work. Because I have so many amazing Gen Zs that like they are working their ass off. They are working very hard. They're working really smart. They're doing really good work. They're producing outputs. And then they're just people that don't want to work. And that's not very like I have Gen Z people that have just wasted my time completely. I have Gen Z people that have been the best addition to my team. I have millennials that have wasted my time completely, and I have millennials that have also just been a great addition. So it's not a Gen Z thing. I would say that for sure.
It's a personality thing.
It is a personality thing, but it's
Yeah.
also a thing that I think as you're hiring, you should be able to spot. I hope you can spot that because that's one thing that would do you a lot of good. Because like, don't try to do like. There's so many things that you'll be doing. It's like you'll be putting band-aids on like a bullet hole wound that like you should have just spotted earlier and not have accepted. That's probably how I would put it. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Now, this is what about when let's talk about a bit, maybe when you're the process of finding those people. Are there some red flags, or maybe you've hired them already? Are there some quick spots to notice? Red flags, green flags. Maybe we could just highlight one or two
That's a very
for you personally. What is a green flag for you when it comes to team members? What is something someone might do and it shows that, oh, this is a good sign? Or what's a no for you basically? We've touched a bit on it, but maybe we could do a little digging on
no
that.
no 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 no. Um and I think a lot of these are like I guess they're called soft skills. I don't know if they're called soft skills or I guess personality traits. I'm really sorry. I don't know if I have the right terminology. So it's very hard to like clarify to like know very vividly, but if someone is unreliable, we can't work.
That's
Um, we
that's the
can't we cannot
problem.
work. And I think and then so recently I let go of somebody. It took me a while to let go of this person because I was thinking because this is the example this is the one where I said I feel like I knew this should have been let go in the first months, but I was like, oh, let me just try, let me see, am I the problem, are they the problem? And then I think after like recently just it's like then I started observing keenly the situation, and then I realized that like, oh no, this person just has a very big knowledge gap. This is not my doing. This is their knowledge gap, and I cannot breach this gap. It's not my job. They have to go. Um, and it was sad because they were a really lovely employee. Like I think the person and I were even trying to develop a friendship, and I hope they know that I do care for them in that. But like on a professional level, it's just there's a big knowledge gap there, and I cannot feel. I'm not the one that's going to fill that gap for you. I cannot fill that gap, and it's even one thing to work with people that know that they are lacking, and then you see them actively trying to fill it.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that they are not even aware that they're lacking. They think they're the shit. And it's hard to even help those people. That's probably how I would think about it. But yeah, but I think I really love reliable people. I really love kind people.
Very important.
Interestingly, in my for traits of a leader that I think I love most, kindness is probably ranked very high. And kindness is not the same as niceness. Um, but I think kindness ranks very high for me. Are you a kind person? Um, can you? Because I think for everybody that is in this company, I try to put them, I try to put them in mind a lot. I I don't want to lie and say like, oh, I put them before me. I'm not gonna lie. I've done a lot. I've done some therapy to not put myself first, um, but I really think of like I think of people that work at this company very much, and I try to put their, I try to, I try to put them in mind a lot when I'm making decisions, and I hope they are doing the same for us, for me as the founder, for us as the company, um, and those things really matter to me. Yeah.
I like how you approach it, really do, because having a balanced view of things and realizing at the point whereby you have to take some tough decisions, which is part of being a leader. Some decisions, some part of you might not want to take, but it has to be taken. Is important. So let's wrap up with the summit that Selar has coming up real soon. What led to the summit? What is Selar trying to achieve with the summit? And maybe future plans you have about Selar.
Sure. So this is the third time we're having a summit. It's an annual summit. This is the third year. I remember when we wanted to do this, and I think we're just thinking we wanted to like gather some creators. I mean, summits are a really great way to drive like and to bring in new audiences. And I think we had started planning it. We had just try to do something. It was like a small thing in December, and then I think I'd spoken to one of my top clients at the time about, oh, this is what we're trying to do. She was like, make it bigger, dude, make it bigger, and like
So
do this, do that, and I was just like, oh, okay. And then we try to make it as big as we could. Um, Everything's self-funded. Did as much as we can, and I mean it's virtual, so we don't. It's very expensive this year. I know what the budget of the summit is, but like it's a very expensive summit. But like it's something that we're very happy to do. We're bringing like a lot of creators, and I think over the years we've brought a lot of creators from different parts of Africa. And I think this year is probably one of our most diverse speaker lists, where we have people from Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, um, Tanzania, and
yeah,
some of these, a lot of these people use Seller today. Um, a lot of them are friends of the brand. I mean, shout out to all my friends that I DM'd begging for them to introduce me to somebody. We have Wode Maya on it this year. He's a very big creator in East Africa, and I remember begging, like I was begging a friend to please help me connect me with him, and like I was on his ass for like almost like 2 weeks straight, and he was very patient with me. So thank you. His name is Eric. What's his name? His social media handle is New Kid.
Okay.
He's really nice. So anyway, I digress. So I think with the summit, we know that a lot of people are really trying to get into the creator economy right now. A lot of people are trying to be better
Yeah.
creators, and we really are trying to make an event that really is enriching, gives people all the information that they need, helps them learn more. Because there's one thing with the creator economy, or one thing about being a creator today is you can only go as far as you can imagine.
True.
And that is something that I think a lot of people don't realize. I mean, that's actually interestingly, that's not even a very creator specific thing. That's consistent just in general. That's a general life
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
But I think as a creator, you can only just go as far as your head can picture. And I think bringing like an audience, like bringing like a speaker list like this of just high caliber people talking about really important things, talking about really amazing things, we really hope a lot of people get like reach insights and knowledge on how to move forward. So I think last year we probably had like maybe 20,000 people register for the event. This year we're really trying to challenge ourselves to 50. I don't know if we can, but hopefully we will. And so yeah, that's where we are, and really just excited for that. It's 20th to 21st of September, so just in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And a lot of things are happening. Like everybody's really busy. It's like a really stressful time for everybody, but like we're really excited because we want to knock it out of the park this year. This is our third year, so it has to be good. And yes, and I think with Seller, I really want to build a product that really stands the test of time. Um, and I'm not like a oh my god, I'm not like a like I don't know if I'm doing this for a legacy. It's not a legacy I'm doing this for. I don't think I care for a legacy, but like I want the product to be good. I want everybody that works in this company to be very rich, to be very well to do, because everybody's putting their blood, their sweat into this. And I really want to make sure. And the thing is, it's also just very important to me that people are rich now, not like in their 50s when only their children will enjoy the money. Like, I really want a scenario whereby, like, if we can and as we grow, like, the people that work now are living good lives now.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
like, they're balling and they're working and they're having
Hmm.
fun
Yeah.
and they're excited and they're living a very fun life. So that's probably my goal. I think that's my only goal right now. Um, oh, it's one of the few, but yes.
I want to ball. Maybe I should come work for you.
I mean, that is the goal. I didn't say that's what's happening now, but that is the
Yeah.
goal. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Leaders that want the team members to make a lot of money to take care of themselves. I once worked for a line manager when I was getting onboarded, she asked me, like, what's the reason? Why are you doing this job? Right? What's your why? Yeah, exactly. And she's like, it could be because you want to make a lot of money to take care of your folks, or there has to be a why. So we had to even design a vision board, right? To talk about our why. What do you want to get? Do you want to buy a house in the next 5 years? Do you want to buy a car? Put it there. Like, have a vision board, and that could be your driving force. It could be anything, right? You could have multiple things. So, at the end of the day, someone has a job because he wants to earn money to take care of himself and solve problems. So having a leader that wants to help the people that's been led to achieve those things, it's big. Seriously, I'm not. There's some people that just want you to be earning shitty salaries and just be there, and you're just like a number, just be there. So having someone that wants to help you get, okay, you know what? How do we help you get to the next level? How do you help you earn more? Can you put in more work? Can you crush these milestones? So that you can earn more. That's huge for me, and I think these are the little things some people need to be looking out for when they want to join a company. As the company is vetting you, you also need to vet them to know if they're a good fit.